lovely hazmat suit. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he has to say about this then. Me, it almost feels like he's behind it all. I'm twisted away.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. When I heard you and Hadrian were headed for Londinian of all places, I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for?
Oh, we did, and a whole lot more.
Good news then. So, what exactly are you doing here? Plenty still to be done in defeating the Terramorphs, no?
On a recording of you discussing the use of Terramorphs as a weapon.
Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks. Perhaps I can convince you to keep this among us.
So you really don't know anything about the attacks, is that what you're claiming?
Of course. Do I look like I'm in any position to do what you're describing? So I'd very much appreciate your agreement to not share what you found. We wouldn't want anyone else jumping to conclusions now, would we?
I'm gonna have to tell the cabinet, dude. That's... Sorry, I'm telling the camera what we learn, consider this your chance to come clean.
You know, you're far more clever than I expected. You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terramorph attacks on Tau City, New Atlantis, my doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I, figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian, learning to synthesize it, use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing.
Associate who we've been working with.
All in due time. First, I want to see if you're truly as astute as you appear. So why would someone like me go through all this trouble?
Better way to show the UC what a deadly weapon they have in the Lazarus plant than to use it.
Not a bad thought.
Huh. Then it's
But
personal.
no, the attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found, but we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport, fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's Terramorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential.
You didn't even trust your own people in the UC?
These were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of terramorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city to prevent mass death, it was the only option that made sense at the time.
You said it took you years to use the plant outside Londinian. That information should have been handed over securely to keep it from ever being used.
It's easy to judge now. In that moment, I wasn't about to add another dangerous variable to an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter. She becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero.
That's why he wanted the Warlock dead. Oh, damn. Okay. Orlays. Why does that name sound familiar?
Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Orlays was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria.
Look.
The pilot of the Warlock. The man I had to eliminate. To hide my secret.
Why the hell do you care if the UC wants you as an advisor?
Why would I want to be in the good graces of the people who control my very life? I don't know, Captain. Maybe I still dream of a life outside these walls someday. A new face would be needed, of course, but it wasn't an impossibility. Though now, I'm not so sure.
They murder U.S. citizens because of some slight against your honor. You are sick.
There are no heroes without a villain. I simply arranged the opportunity for us to overcome one and become the other. And we all...
Can I just shoot him now?
It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday.
If you're waiting for me to say thank you, we're going to be here a while.
I'm simply looking for you to acknowledge the truth. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the terramorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together.
You think I'm just going to forget the fact that you killed people to accomplish your good works?
And how many have you killed to get where you are now? There are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange to me. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this tour, because once I tell the camera, it'll probably be your last.
That is a pity, Captain. But I'm in no position to negotiate. Though we needn't be enemies, you and I. Just think about the opportunity I've provided here. There are more on the horizon. If you do the right thing.
Oops. I can't lie about this. Though I'm wondering what she's gonna say now when she finds out about her father is alive then. So I guess that is gonna be something that she will be finding out.
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the Aceles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terramorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Any leads on who might have committed the attacks?
Okay, well, let's see how this goes. It was Veas Victus. I managed to get him to confess.
That seems unlikely, considering he's been dust for about 20 years.
I'm sure the captain just misspoke. Right?
Nope, he's alive. UC's had him this whole time. He orchestrated attacks from his cell.
No, that's impossible. He's gone. My father is dead.
I swear I'm not lying to you. He's alive and he's responsible for the attacks. Look, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner, but it is the truth.
Good God, you're not kidding.
Alive. Faye Victus is alive? How did you find him?
He actually contacted me. He's the reason we found Kaiser.
Wait. You knew he was alive and didn't tell us?
I couldn't. I was sworn to secrecy, but this felt too important.
You were sworn to... You swore. You were just doing your duty, weren't you? Yeah, I guess I, of all people, should know what a burden that can be. Doesn't mean I'm not mad. But I guess you letting us know late is preferable to never. Now at least we can inform the cabinet and let them deal with him.
Yes, we leave out his involvement in the attacks says to consider the lives he's helped save.
I'm sure he did. But he killed dozens of people. And I'm not about to let him get away with something like that. But now Now I guess we've got our answer. Nothing left to do but put it all in front of the cabinet. Any last things we needed to discuss? This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terramorphs.
What kind of risks are there if we decide to bring back the Sealies?
Asylees aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly. But they've already been spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so the risk of introducing them to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the Terramorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks.
What do you think the cabinet would do when they learn about Victor's involvement in the attacks?
It's hard to know. Unlike my father, the cabinet aren't butchers. But killing UC citizens, along with everything else he's done, is unforgivable. But if you're really that concerned, you could request they be lenient. They might be willing to spare him.
Which method of dealing with the Terramorphs are you two leaning towards?
Microbe is going to make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in. See if they have a preference.
I'd prefer to take the Sealies than the microbe. Both approaches to clearing our worlds are effective against the heat leeches.
They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Asylees seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch them. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti.
Well, nothing else on my end. Let's head in there.
And here we go.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's do a save.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. But according to Hadrian's report and the second one I just received, it seems the Terramorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
That's correct, ma'am. It was a deliberate attack.
My God.
An attack? Using Terramorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlays commit these attacks, Captain?
Orlays?
Report isn't the whole truth. Orlays helped, but Victis organized the attacks.
It's true, ma'am. I heard the recording myself. My father figured out how to use Terramorphs as weapons.
He did what?
That's impossible. He doesn't have the kind of access to...
Clearly, he made his own access, Chief Sarkin. Madam President, I have been saying for years that not dealing with that man was going to end in tragedy.
Enough! I hope everyone here understands that what has just been shared is a state secret of the highest order. This information does not leave this room. Now, that's quite the accusation you're leveling, considering Francois Sinon has not left containment for the better part of 2 decades. You have evidence to back this up?
Play emergency recorder snippets.
It just transfers
Heavens help us. Is that actually him?
I'd know that voice anywhere. That's Francois.
He knew they could do this. And said nothing.
He's a sociopath. Plain and simple, ma'am.
Officer, please collect that recording.
Yes, ma'am. Begging your pardon, Captain.
We'll, of course, be launching a full investigation into how this could have happened. Though I have little doubt the Admiral will be quick to share all he knows on the subject once confronted with that recording. Chief Yassine, can you send one of your interrogators to have a little chat with the Admiral?
I'll issue the order immediately.
Good. Combined with everything else you all have uncovered. Well, I don't think the United Colonies can thank you enough. We failed the people of the colonies by not dealing with Vavictus sooner. I intend to rectify that mistake immediately.
Have we requested his life to be spared? I mean, he did help us against the Terramorphs. One can't really trust him though. I mean, and then he did all this just to get his daughter to be a hero. So we go with this. Whatever the cabinet thinks is the right course of action.
It's well past due. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian. All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
I mean, do we want the other faction to be involved in this, though? I mean, why secure? Why not just, yeah, I mean, they should just wipe it out.
We're already discussing the elimination of one species, Captain. Explain to me why you wish to eliminate another.
Destroy it and asking the trees are collected to help proves the UC has no ill intentions.
That is an idea with some merit to it. Decrease the likelihood of anything like this occurring again, and further relations between our two factions.
Two birds with a single stone. Very well. We'll include the collective in the removal process. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terramorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
I agree.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President. It isn't dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terramorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major,
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see. Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise, but we'd like to know your take on the matter.
Deploying the Seedless is the safest route. That's my vote, I think. Yeah.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled. We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terramorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
What's a Class 1 citizen?
It's a status reserved only for those who've dedicated their lives to the United Colonies, or done great things for its cause. Class 1s enjoy an ample credit disbursement, an additional reduction on the cost of colonial goods. And I'm told the penthouse is rather impressive.
Well, thank you, Madam President.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
As for you, Captain, the Vanguard will be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
Nice. I assume that means
Vanguard, right?
that faction is done then, huh? Yep. Okay. You got 3 more to go though.
Hey.
And the main
Thanks for your
story, of course.
service.
Actually, we should go for best power. And this will be a quick save after all that blabber.
Well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain.
Hey, Commander, it's an honor.
No need to thank me. You brought this all on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
Where's the realty office?
Just out the front door and across the plaza, by the embassies. Look for the Aphelion sign.
Oh yeah. Very generous.
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up terramorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
Someone do you recommend if I'm going to take some time off from aliens?
Of course. You've earned some R&R. Once you're rested up and ready to head out there again, you come see me.
Let's see, us repeatable missions. Okay, let's see. See about getting our penthouse then.
I'm always ready to make a deal. Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen, you've made quite a name for yourself in New Atlantis. In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion. What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
I'm interested.
Great! You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in Mercury Tower in the residential district. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
Yeah, let's go visit our new place.
I know I sound like a commercial right now, but I've been to other stores. And they have the best.
Oh, does that one pop up on your map? On the map now? Okay. Not yet. Hello, Murphys. How you doing, buddy?
That movie was epic. Definitely better.
It's going well. We just finished one faction. So, time to jump into the next faction. Just gonna visit our new penthouse that we got as a reward. Yeah, no, you'd like to lurk. Holy crap, what a view. I am okay. A bit sluggish, but... How are you doing then, Murphys? Nope. I work on Sundays. Work every Sunday? Do you get better pay on Sundays? It's the same thing here when I have worked. It's like if you work on weekends or nights, you get increased pay. Hey, laundry room, huh? Yeah, nice apartment. Wonder if you need to talk to her to get furniture for a place, or no, wait, you can make furniture, by the way. No, that's for outpost. So. Yes, I'm Lurk, but I don't know. The game is not either for everybody, you know. It's like a Fallout game with a slight touch of No Man's Sky exploring. I call it a budget version of the No Man's Sky exploring. Okay, so let's see. What should we go for next then? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know what kind of games you like. Action RPGs, pretty much. Well, I am gonna play. Well, I made a command called. I should probably just call it Nix. You might probably like when I play Sea of Stars then. Or maybe Lies of P too. But those are the games I have planned on playing next, though not in that order they say, but... Let's go for these guys. How can I? Oh yeah, this one I have to do. Which one? The first one or the second or the third? Oh, the first one? Okay. Yeah, I think there is only some... I don't think there is any I think there is only 1 or 2 mods. Probably that's good to be using for it. Combat is good in that game. It's just so many people complain about the combat in Witcher 1, and that's just because they don't know how to actually handle a combat in Witcher 1. Because it actually comes down to timing in your attacks. Which people don't seem to understand. People just complain, oh, the combat is bad. Yeah, but that's because you have to actually Time your attacks. Which people don't seem to understand. Which one is just great.
Ever been to Aquila?
What? Oh, it's that person. Let's see. Do we have more stuff that we need to get rid of, by the way? I think so. Oh yeah, mercenary space helmet. Ah, crap. Okay.
How's it going? Can I help? Cool. That's what we do here.
Yeah, and people have no patience either with older games, learning how to with combat and stuff like that, I think. They don't understand there can be like, you know, a little more depth into the whole thing. Should I keep this one? Question. Hello. Many times the older games have more interesting ways of dealing with combat. The new ones do. Enjoy your time, buddy. Good luck. Don't die to too many cheaters. Okay, let's see. Buy some ammo. Use that anymore. What kind of ammo do we need? 11 heavy fuse, 40 heavy fuse, 50. Oh yeah, and 7. All that. The shoddy. 11. I think I need any. I don't have the heavy fuse or anything here.
See you around.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy.
I'm looking to unload a sensitive shipment.
And by sensitive, I'm guessing you mean something you don't want UC security sticking their noses into. I can probably help you with that. What have you got for me?
Take a look at this sample.
Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What else you got?
I guess the people that told me you were the best were wrong.
No, they're right. What they didn't tell you is that I have a self-preservation streak 1 kilometer wide. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit.
If he else blow your brains out and then someone else. I don't know if she's gonna think this is too easy. Okay, does this work?
You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you. There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Do 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 do.
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away.
Give sample, so what's the bound so you can help me move some of this?
Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this. If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for us first.
Okay. Who's we and us? I thought I was dealing with you.
You're a clever one, aren't you? Let's just say I have a certain influential affiliation. And leave it at that. Basically, you want that Aurora moved, I'm your guy.
Okay, no problem.
Right down to business, and no small talk. I like it. Now listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze, not that I blame him. Either way, I want that money back.
How loud do you want this to be?
What do I need to do here? Write you an instruction manual? You can do this loud, you can do this quiet. I don't care. I just want my goddamn money, and I want this guy to remember who he screwed over.
All right, I get it down.
Perfect. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable-looking guy in the entire place.
Oh yeah, I should need to check these vendors here, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the Sidonia. Sounds like a plan.
Resources. Bum, 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 bum. It's none of these we need.
Come back anytime.
Keep your eyes peeled for signs of terramorph activity. After what happened to our forces in Equilibrium.
I keep telling myself, of course, just... See you around.
Hey, Hey, friendo. Take a look.
Friendo. We need all that. Doesn't have that. We need this. Don't need zero wire. We have that. Get the tungsten. Get that. wait.
Just a reminder.
Ammo. Let's see. 50. Let's buy all that. All that.
See you later, friendo.
Something I can help you with?
Yep. I'm here to collect the credits you owe to Adler Kemp.
Adler Kemp? Who the heck is that?
You owe money to anyone or not?
Of course I owe money. Unless you're independently wealthy. Everyone's in debt nowadays. I owe Deimos. I owe my landlord. I owe Galbank. Heck, I have a tab at Parsec Deep at Cespear. It's an endless list. So why don't you just leave me here? Let me get drunk and find someone else to bother. Okay?
Well, I really don't have the time to play games.
What? Play what games? You're obviously confusing me with someone else. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. This has been fun, though. Whatever.
Well, it's been nice knowing you. I'm sure your funeral will be lovely.
Hey now. Take it easy there. Let me think about that person you mentioned. Adler, was it? Hmm? Oh, wait. You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about someone else. I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. I'll even bring it to him personally. Hmm? Sound good? Yeah?
Hey, no, Deimos will send you a course home in a casket.
Come on! Give me a break! What the... Look, I haven't got a single credit to spare right now. Okay? You can't squeeze blood from a stone. You know? Right?
No. Why are you hurting so badly for credits? Well, I'm tired of playing games now.
What games?
Let's see if we can persuade him.
Why are you doing this to me? I don't have the money.
This is really worth the risk. You could always make the money back later.
Sure. I guess I could ask for a 7-day shift. I don't know.
Oh, you must have some rainy day money stashed somewhere.
Why the hell would I deplete my savings? To pay off a stock like Adler Kemp? Come on!
You're a dead man if you don't pay this back.
Holy shit. You're right. Adler doesn't just want me beaten up. He's going to have me killed. Huh. Please, tell Adler I'm sorry for trying to wiggle out of the debt. I didn't have much of a choice.
Oh, and then all of a sudden he had 3k credits? What the heck?
While Sidonia City Ordinance 5.82 concerning graffiti, street art, and vandalism is still in effect,
I have to consider I can't go killing people when I'm working for these guys right now. They want me to solve things kinda neatly.
Have something for me?
Yeah, it's all here.
There, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message?
He got the message.
Nice, nice. You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats comes easy to you. I like that. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. A lot more. You think you can handle running with my, associates?
If you think they can handle me.
That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Nevamora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.
Don't want to catch yourself with a loose grip on your equipment.
Okay, let's see. Wonder,
Just because the governor's office is right out there.
There's no way, no.
Hey, it's my personal savior. Thanks again for the assist.
Want to see if there was a way I could pickpocket him, but looked like it.
Look who finally had the guts to show up. So, big shot. I hear Adler thinks you're good enough to join our crew.
Damn right I am.
You betting your life on that? Because the only way out of our organization is with a warhead up your grab drive. So, before I put you to work, let's get everything out in the open. I don't know if Adler mentioned it, and for his sake, I hope he hasn't. But you aren't about to sign up with any average pirate crew. You're signing up with the Crimson Fleet. That's if you get through this little task I have planned for you. There's a medical supply ship called the Ragana, jumping into Enceladus's orbit. On board that ship, you'll find a traitor named Austin Rake. I want him dead.
Consider it done.
It's done when Rake stops breathing. Head back here when you're finished. And don't keep me waiting for long.
I can be certain that Austin Rick is on the Ragana.
I've been tracking Rake for months. He's making it tough, not gonna lie. He changes his location and identity so often, it's costing me a small fortune just to keep tabs. But you know what? It's worth every damn cred. He's made me look like a fool in front of Delgado, and I'm gonna have his head on a pike.
Okay. Going to see if we can Jeez, he's not on the sand now. Oops. Held down E too long. Gonna do it that way. You have a crewman on board I'm looking for.
All right. And what are your intentions with this crewman?
The fleet one's also in Rake dead. I would like to board your ship and talk about how to spare him.
Well, normally I would say no, but frankly it will be safer for us that way. Alright, you can dock. We will talk then.
You're supposed to use, not use violence if you don't have to. So.
Hey, you need something?
So let's see what we can do.
I am not sure what to make of you being here. If you wanted to kill us, you could have done that from your ship. If you wanted our cargo, we could have jettisoned it. I guess I should just stop talking and let you say your piece.
I don't know who's listening over comms is safer.
That is true. Which means you don't want somebody to know what you are really up to. Now, do you mind telling us what this is all about?
The fleet won't Rake dead, but I want to resolve this without violence. Oh. Fleet won't Rake dead, but I want to resolve this without violence.
You really do not know which one of us is Rake, do you? And you do not seem to care either, which makes me think you really want to save him. Okay, I have idea. We can strike his name from Manifest, make it so he was never on board. Then, when we dock, we will leave him on this ship and deliver him to another port.
Delivering to his death. If the fleet find out about this deal, we are both exposed.
That is fair. We do not want any part of the fleet.
Is that all right with you, Austin?
Do I have a choice?
It does not appear you do. Well then, it is agreed. You go back to your ship and we will make sure Rake was never on ours. And in case any of your handlers get suspicious, here. We had an extra crate of supplies loaded, in case one got damaged. This should be proof you were not here to bargain.
I thought we were dead. I can't believe it.
So now what? They're gonna put me in a sys-def prison? I'm not saying it's worse than death, but it's pretty damn close.
Oh, you're alive, ain't you? Stop complaining.
You look well. Hey. Going on?
Miss Heller.
Glad to see you're back in one piece.
Damn mercs just don't know how to take a hit. Hey, Rook, wanna help me with some target practice?
Is this any good loot? Okay. Oops. You gotta put too much into my...
Thanks for the help with the Cliptic. I had it under control, but it definitely went faster after you jumped into the fight. Now tell me about the Ragana. Give me some good news, then we can go celebrate.
Austin Ray is dead. Ragana survived.
Huh. No kidding. That'll make Delgado happy, seeing as our hands are clean. I would have preferred if you hadn't left witnesses behind, but At least you got the job done. Anyway, you wanted into the Crimson Fleet? Well, you're in. Yep, it's that simple. Hope this business with Rake's taught you something. Because I'm about to stick my neck out and vouch for you. If you screw up, and I wind up looking like an asshole, I'm gonna send someone after you. We clear?
Maybe. Best decision you ever made.
Yeah? Last person who said that was Rake. So you've already dug yourself a hole about 6 feet deep. Now that you know the deal, it's time to see what you signed up for. I'm gonna upload the coordinates for our headquarters in the Crick system. Spacers call it the key, the fleet calls it home. Head out there as soon as you can. Don't keep me waiting long.
Okay.
Commander Ikande wants to see you. Follow me. I had a friend on the Regana. I hope I'll be able to see him next time we're on shore leave.
The fleet call us sharks. They know what happens with this.
Do you have anything to report? We got the message from the Regana about Austin Rick. We had him dropped off at a separate port, off the books. Suffice to say, he's got a lot to answer for.
Any point in trying to get Ray to give up information about the fleet?
That's something we're looking into, but it doesn't seem like he knows much. He might be better served as bait. For now, we'll keep him in the brig. Perhaps you could pay him a visit there sometime? I'm sure he'd be pleased to see you.
Glad he surrendered. Do you want to kill anyone innocent or otherwise?
That's a smart line to follow. Part of this role you're playing means having to make hard choices. Just remember not to lose yourself in the part. Oh, one more thing before we move on. For transparency's sake, you should know we were the ones that hired Ecliptic to attack Neva's ship. There was concern after what happened with the Regana that you might have trouble earning Neva's trust. Coming to her rescue ensured that would not be a problem.
That was a clever way to ensure Neva's trust.
Ah, so I take it you have good news. Were you able to join the fleet?
Yep. It's a clever plan. The fleet doesn't suspect a thing.
It's a dangerous plan, and you came awfully close to killing an innocent crew. Luckily, you have a good head on your shoulders, and did the right thing. Now it's time for the next phase of the mission.
Our intel on Saoirse was correct. After we received reports on your interaction with Adler Kemp, we picked up on your rendezvous with Neva Mora.
Our files indicate she's second in command, so getting on her good side will ensure you get into the Crimson Fleet.
What do you know about Neva?
A woman has a record that could stretch across Sol and back. She started young as one of Neon's street rats and worked her way up to second in command. She's a force to be reckoned with, so don't underestimate her.
Well, everything's going according to plan so far.
Yes, you passed your first test and you're still alive. But before we get too confident, that either means she suspects nothing, or she intends to make an example of you later. Just remember, these are ruthless criminals, so don't let your guard down.
And their ruthlessness is only surpassed by their cunning. You should proceed with caution, regardless of how well you think you've ingratiated yourself.
So what's next for you on Neva's agenda?
So I was told to meet Neva at the key.
Where you'll meet Delgado, no doubt.
Delgado is the leader of the Crimson Fleet. I have a profile here with some information on his background. You'll want to know the individual cadences of every member of the fleet, but Delgado's most of all.
In any case, now that you're with the fleet, you'll be operating independently. We will shadow you eventually, but we'll need to maintain our distance for now, especially while you're on the key. This will also give us time to bolster our defenses, should we need to engage with the fleet in the future.
Sir, on that note, shall we begin implementing the upgrade to our shields?
Immediately, Lieutenant. Notify the engineers and relay the information to the crew. I hope your entry into the fleet has overcome any doubts you may have had regarding your mission. It certainly increased my estimates on success. Keep up the good work. We'll expect further reports. Dismissed.
So... Camp. He's a ship captain. Delgado. Clever, shrewd, careful, calculating. Originally heading from Aquila City. Okay. Mora. Short fuse, temperamental, intense, incendiary. Okay. Born and raised in Nia. Okay. Wait, F1. Get. Yeah, that one's gonna take a while to get. That one I don't care much about. Yeah, we can unlock that one. Yeah. Good, let's get to the key. Level 50, huh?
Hey, you need something?
Get out of my face.
You said the take was 10K, but it was 30. Big difference on 40% of 10 versus 30.
You wanted 4K, you got 4K. Not my problem.
If you're stealing from me, you bet your ass it's your problem.
You kidding me? Way to make a mess in front of my new Rook.
Hey, steal from me and get caught? Better off dead.
Sounds like you did the fleet a favor. Now toss this body out of an airlock before it turns into a damn air freshener. The hell took you so long? Forget how to grav jump or something?
Alright, did you miss me?
Please. It'd be one less sloppy Rook whose mess I had to clean up. The last thing I need is another Austin Rake getting cold feet. You want to leave the fleet? You pay the price. Not in credits, but in blood.
Oh, I'm sorry I kept you waiting.
Never apologize. Not if you want anyone in the fleet to respect you. And if they don't respect you, put a gun to their head and they'll get the message. But all that aside, you made it. So now you get to hear a nifty history lesson. Pencils ready? Good. This floating scrap heap you're standing on is called the Key. Used to be an old UC military star station, and now it's the fleet's base of operations. Might look a little beat up on the outside, but we keep it together.
There's a fleet to go over an entire UC star station.
Sure did. Right out from under their noses. Way before you or I were born, though. We've held this station for a very long time. Don't worry. Delgado will tell you all about it.
I bet it really pisses the UC off to your station here.
You think? And that's only part of it. I'll let Delgado fill you in on the whole story. He tells it better anyway. But I can give you the short version while we walk the station. Anyway, I'll tell you all about the Key. But it's better if I show you too. Follow me. All right. History time. So, the Key is in orbit around Suvorov. That's the very same ice ball where the United Colonies built a supermax prison they call the Lock. The UC is so clever. Supermax prison, Lock, Key. Cute, huh?
Mm-hmm. Very.
Now, we've got everything the fleet needs right here. Of course, you've got to pay for it. Remember, on the Key, credits are king. What the hell is this?
All right, hang on, Nav. Before you get pissed, I've got my hands full.
Jasmine, sweetie, I'm trying to give a tour here. So you want to tell me why those damn doors are sealed?
It's called a malfunction. You know, that thing I spend most of my day dealing with. Believe me, my people are on it. Have a little faith for once.
Aw. And you always, Angel. This here's Jasmine. You need anything for your ship, she's got you covered. We'll hit up the depot next since these doors have given out on us. So anyway, we were talking about the Lock. About 100 years ago, the prisoners down there rioted and took over the place. After stealing some ships, they were actually able to make it up here and took over the Key.
About time you brought us new blood, Neva. I was getting tired of trading with the same old faces.
You're just ticked everyone's getting wise to your ridiculous prices, Elutra. Anyway, welcome to the depot, Rook, where you'll be lucky if these blood-sucking leeches don't bleed you completely dry.
Whoa. It's not our fault that people don't appreciate how much it costs to get untraceable merchandise onto the Key.
Neva's just whining because she thinks she lost a ton of cash selling us a shipment of gear. She should have done her homework.
Yeah, sure, laugh it up. I'll remember that next time I need something from you cheapskates.
Let's move on. Back to my story. After the liberated prisoners grabbed the key, they established it as a base of operations and began pirating the spaceways. That was how the Crimson Fleet began. Of course, Jasper Cricks had a lot to do with all that, but we'll get to him later. Rook, meet Zuri, queen of the rare exports.
If I don't have it, you don't need it.
Neuroamps, blueprints. Hit her up and she'll take care of you.
Speaking of which, you still owe me for that last purchase, Neva. It's like 5 figures. Don't make me collect it the hard way.
The hard way? Oh no. Rook, protect me from Zuri's vengeance. Enough of the bullshit, Zuri. I'll pay you when I pay you. Deal with it. Got a problem with that? Take it up with the boss.
My prices may be high, but these goods ain't exactly easy to find.
I'm sure you know the deal there. They'll buy pretty much anything, no matter how high. Then we got our med bay on the left, run by the one and only Samina Mizra. She'll patch you up, if you've got the money. We don't run any free clinics up in here, you don't? Okay, this is our final stop. Over there, you've got the last Nova, where Bog serves watered-down drinks at ridiculously exorbitant prices. And right here is the most important place on the entire station. The Reckoner's Core, run by the incomparable Shinya Voss.
Another new Rook, Neva? I can't believe Delgado still lets you recruit given what happened with the last one.
You mean Austin Rape? It's been taken care of, all right? I don't like loose ends, and this Rook is the one who tied it off.
Perhaps next time you'll try to be a bit more discerning regarding your choices. It's far more cost-effective.
Yeah, love you too, darling. Anyway, Shinya handles our lifeblood. The money. We call him our Reckoner, but if you ask me, he's actually a pain in the ass.
And Neva will slit your throat if she thinks you'll bleed creds.
Go to hell, boss. Take care of our new friend here, or I'll find a way to pull the pin on that little party popper in your chest. Anyway, Shinya will get you set up in our system. I've got real work to do. Once you're done, head upstairs and I'll introduce you to the boss.
Time for a proper introduction. I am Shinya Voss, the official reckoner for the Crimson Fleet. And since Neva so thoughtfully mentioned it, yes, this is a bomb embedded in my chest. And no, I'll never know the meaning of the word humble. In fact, I find Delgado's idea of a security measure to be quite empowering.
It's the most clever security measure I have seen.
Glad you approve. Obviously, betrayal isn't taken lightly around here. Since I oversee the bulk of transactions and maintain all accounts for the fleet, I'm a prime target for information. Should our enemies capture me or I grew any semblance of a moral conscience, you might consider me the greatest threat we have. For Delgado, the bomb grants peace of mind and a certain degree of safety.
Delgado sounds like a smart man.
It's why he's the boss. Of course, I'm not the first reckoner to bear a bomb under my ribcage, but Delgado was smart enough to continue the tradition. Now, let me get you set up. A moment while I convene with the core. Thanks to advanced modifications even Bugin would envy, I can interface directly with our mainframe and the Galbank network. This allows me to move and clean credits faster and more efficiently than any run-of-the-mill cyber runner. There, you're done. All you need now is Delgado's blessing, and you'll be one of us.
Any other modifications I need to know about?
None. Other than my chest and arm modifications, I am but a simple man. Is the interview over now? Can we get back to work?
Yep, time to make those crates.
The perfect segue into my final subject. Thanks to our relations with contacts across the galaxy, we always have a steady stream of jobs available. I've granted you all the necessary permissions to access these listings at any time, using the computers that surround the core.
Looks like we'll be doing a lot of business together.
If Neva's chosen wisely, we certainly will. Now, I believe that covers all I have to say, so you can run along to Delgado. Take the elevator to the upper level. You should be able to find your way from there, I hope.
Alright, listen up. You can all stop complaining. Atrium elevator doors have been repaired. Oh, and you're welcome, Nev.
Let's go and talk to the boss then. Let's see. And then we can go and do some shopping down there. A little quick save. And we have 41 grenades. Damn.
Ah, there's our other new recruit. So, now that we are all here, it's time to get down to business. The two of you are the only Rooks that have made the latest cut. The rest, well, let's just say they won't be joining us ever again. Neva's willing to put her neck on the line and vouch for you, which means you've got what it takes to join the Crimson Fleet.
Well, Neva put me through. She better vouch for me.
If dealing with the Ragana was at the limit of your capabilities, then you have a serious problem on your hands. You are already in too deep to quit. And I can promise you, it only gets more difficult from here. All right, let's get started here. When you sign up with the Crimson Fleet, you're in it for the long haul. No one quits. No one retires. The only way out is death. You stay loyal or you pay the consequences. Fleet before friends. Fleet before family. Fleet before yourself.
For the boss?
Boss? Good. You're getting it already. I like that.
Can we get on with this? I want to get drunk at the last Nova.
I'm impressed. That is the first intelligent thing you have said this entire time, Mathis. Since you two seem so eager to move forward, let's get to your next job. Pack your cold weather gear, Rooks. Where we are going, you're going to need it.
Oh, God, don't tell me you're dragging him down to Suvarol for another one of your little initiation runs. 10 Johns to the surface, 12 dead Rooks. You'd think by now you would have given up on that goddamn campfire story.
Crix's legacy is no story, Neva. We've got fresh eyes in the fleet. And if these two want to impress, they're going to help me search those ruins.
I hope you're right, Dale. That new code we grabbed for the lot cost us a ton of credits. And a decent captain.
This initiation, as Neva calls it, is your chance to see where it all began. On Suvorov with Jasper Crix. Crix led the riots that gave birth to the Crimson Fleet. And if his legacy is still out there, we're going to be the ones to find it.
You should tell me more about Crix's legacy.
Before Crix left the fleet, he left a message talking about a major score. One that would set up the fleet to be a big player in the settled systems. Somewhere down the line, they started calling it Crix's legacy. And everyone who's tried to find it has wound up empty-handed, missing, or dead. If we're gonna beat those odds, we'll first need a lead. And I would wager we will find one on Suvorov.
Dale's leaving out the best part. That this whole search is based on a handful of words on a very old slate. Crix left a lot of big talk on that recording, and not a lot of facts. Some of us believe in it more than others.
Don't listen to her. When we get our hands on Crix's legacy, the fleet will be operating at a completely different level. We will become more than a match for UC Steph.
be unstoppable.
Exactly. Now you're beginning to understand. Okay, enough discussion. We have got a lot of work to do. To that end, the next stop is the lock. I've had Jazz feed the coordinates into your ship's computer. Since Mathis doesn't have a ship, he's going to ride with me. I'll see you down there, Rook. Don't keep me waiting.
Always ask for a bigger cut. It's all about making those credits.
I triple-check my work. Last thing I need is an angry pirate on my ass telling me the intel sucked.
Yeah?
Clinic.
What do you need? First time visiting the infirmary, huh? Let me give you a piece of advice. Try not to get into too many bar fights. I'm trying to save my dwindling supplies
practice
for
that
sale
movement.
and pirates coming in off of raids.
All the medical supplies I know here are kind of get me zone now. Are you a real doctor?
I've done my time, but thanks to a malpractice suit, I've officially dropped the doctor title. Don't let that worry you. I'm still just as good, if not better, than half the surgeons at the clinic.
Oh, you won't have to worry about me. I'm practically bulletproof.
That's what they all say, until they stumble in bleeding out on my floor. So here's what's what. You need med packs, curatives, preventatives, I've got you covered. At least as long as my current supply holds out. You need enhancers, legal or illegal? I've got those too.
Keep all that in mind if I need anything.
Hopefully that won't be often. Now, if you don't need anything else, I've got a particularly annoying supply issue to deal with.
Maybe I can help out with your supply issue?
Now there's an offer I didn't expect. If you really want to help, I'm looking for someone who can handle themselves in a public setting. As in someone who knows how to get the job done without shooting up the place.
You can count on me for that.
Well, you'd be one of the first. I politely requested a list of supplies from Gennady Aton at the clinic and was told the price of business has gone up. I think he's back on Aurora, and he's upcharging me to pay for it. And if there's one thing I'm not going to do is subsidize his habit. I want you to make sure he delivers my supplies for the price we agreed on, but without raising any alarms.
No, 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 no.
Get the supplies and no one get hurt.
We'll see. Talk is one thing, actions
Would you
are
like the
another.
bugs? Did you not give a reason for the price change?
A bullshit one, yeah. Gennady claims prices have gone up for the clinic as a whole, and that I'm not the only doc being hit. He says if I want cheaper goods, I'm going to have to find another supplier. He even gave me a list. But I'm not turning to some third-rate doc selling meds out of their space truck. Gennady and I had a deal, and I want him to honor it. Try not to die out there.
Trade authority, huh?
You have something for me? What'll it be, friend? Buying, selling? The Trade Authority takes anything and everything.
Let's see what the depot has to offer.
The fleet's got an impressive commerce system. They even managed a legitimate doctor among their ranks. Business on the Key is like no other. It's the sole reason I'm here. For the credits.
That's the only one you fit right in.
Not everyone thinks so. I'm still Trade Authority, not a part of the fleet. There are a few, Neva included, that see me as an outsider. Regardless, as long as the fleet has goods to push, the Trade Authority will always maintain a presence on the Key.
Well, let's talk business.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Let's see what you got, buddy. Holy shit. That was a massive amount of fist death. Not worth it though. That was a good one, though. Pum 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 pum.
Your credits are always good at the Trade Authority.
See anything you like? Don't even try to rip me off. I know value when I see it.
Let's see what you got then.
We can talk about whatever you want, as long as you got the creds.
Weapons. Let's see what she has. Ah. Well, that beats our sniper. You know what? Let's we can upgrade it when we get back to base later. Let's see. Nothing something that I'm looking for.
Always a pleasure.
Hmm.
I hope you actually need components. I hate wasting my time. I don't need... Alright, let's get this over with.
Hmm. Well, she doesn't have the adhesive. Have that. And we bought a lot of these. Well, let's buy these two. Oops, and we went over.
Whatever. Weapons for all occasions. Well, well. Neva's new hotshot. I knew you'd find your way back to my little corner of the key. Everyone always does.
Mm-hmm. What are you selling?
Take a look around, genius. And don't tell me you've never laid eyes on a gun before. But just in case I need to spell it out for you, the merch I carry is known as weapons and ammunition. Get it?
Oh, let's skip the intro. I'm just here to buy.
Hey, if you want to pour credits into my pocket, you won't hear any arguments from me. I carry most of the standard hardware. You know, kinetics, electromags, energy, even a few explosives. Occasionally, I stock a few smuggled items. Basically the stuff SysDev doesn't want you to play with. Just don't screw me over or I'll be inclined to give you a free demo. With your head as the target.
I mean, yes, trust issues.
Oh, we all have trust issues here. A little advice, Sadiqi? The fleet's trust can't be bought. You earn it. You bleed for the fleet bleeds for you. Pure and simple. Anyone who says otherwise is either lying or getting ready to stab you in the back.
I understand.
Well, that was surprisingly easy. Most people just glaze over and learn the hard way. Maybe there's more to you than I thought.
Oh, let me see what you have in stock then.
Kinetic, electromag, energy. I got it all.
The heck, that is a shotgun? That is a weird looking shotgun, I must say. Like the other pistol one. Well, hello, 190? anything. Considering we can put a lot of mods on it, totally unmodded. Buy more? Why not? Oops.
All right, see you around.
How are you doing, arranging?
Captains handle
You want to
most of the
survive?
patrols.
My
We've
gear may
earned
not be
that trust.
bulletproof. Well, only the best protective gear you can find.
I wouldn't say you do have that. Buy all those.
Stay safe out there.
Box rules for Nova. Don't piss me off. Everyone drinks sober. Get out. Drink at your own risk. No killing unless you deserve it. Okay, ship. Weight room etiquette. Message board. Which may not work, but it's fun. Beautiful some chicken shot. Yeah, okie dokie, thank you.
Need a drink? Bog at the Last Nova will be more than happy to take your credits.
Okay. Let's go and dump off some stuff in the ship.
In the fleet, you either put up, shut up, or die. Need something?
To the cockpit and get up and boop. Undocked. The lock. Okay. Gonna refill my coffee cup. I'll be right back. These cricket, huh? Oh wait, I need my other gear. We go with this. Probably gonna get a cold or something silly.
About time you got here.
I told you you were wasting your time, Del.
Got the crap and let's get down to business.
That is why we're here. And Mathis, I am running things around here, so keep your mouth shut. You got that?
Fine.
All right, listen up because I am only going to go through this once. We are here to dig up any info about Grix's legacy. We are not here to scrap for loot. Whatever you pick up, don't think, don't get creative, bring it straight to me.
Don't worry, Mathis isn't capable of thinking.
If that was supposed to be a joke, I am not laughing.
Don't worry about laughing, Delgado. It'll be a goddamn laugh riot when I split open his head with a crowbar.
All right, that's enough. If either of you want to fly with the Crimson Fleet, then you need to follow one simple rule. When you're on a job, you do exactly what I say. No questions asked. If that doesn't work for you, just say so, and I will leave you on this ice ball without a ship. You will be dead within hours.
Yeah.
Understood.
We have a lot of ground to cover between the landing area and the lock, so let's get moving.
Oh, I'll see you guys later. Also your problem and not mine. Go. I don't see the door.
Forget this. We got better stuff to do.
Here we are. The place where Jasper Griggs laid the groundwork for finding the Legacy and eventually the Crimson Fleet. The Lock.
For how old this place is, I can't believe it's still standing.
Yeah? Oh, good. I don't want the place collapsing on us.
I've been down here several times in the last few years. As long as we keep the damage to a minimum, we shouldn't have any problems. All right.
Get grenade ready.
Standing out here isn't doing us any good. This ID card cost a small fortune. Let's hope it pays off. We are in. Let's go.
Oh my god, yeah. I can't even open the door because they only want to go in. In the way.